I want you to understand something. Just like he said, SAMRO does not actually protect your music. It does not protect your rights. It just proves that your music has been registered. But people don't realize just how easy it is to actually copyright your music. So when you have an idea, because we're talking about intellectual property, so those are the ideas, things that you come up with, the lyrics, the melody. When it's still in your head and when you're still like you're rapping it, you're coming up with the ideas, it's not protected. The moment it becomes protected is the moment you put it on paper. For example, first thing. It's the simplest way to protect your music, first of all, is to put it down on paper. If you're a writer, if you're a rapper, if you're a composer, songwriter, put it down on paper. You write it down. If you're a beat maker, you record it. You lace down the beats, you work on it, you export it. The moment it's on your computer, the moment it's been exported, it's copyrightable. So that CD that you have exported it into, it's a physical, tangible proof of the copyright. That paper that you have written the words, your lyrics on, that is copywritten. So you write the lyrics, you write your name, and you write a little C. There's a funny C. It's C with a circle around it. The moment you do that, you put it in an envelope. You either post it to yourself or you scan it, send an email to yourself, you're protected. It is that simple. People think that it's complicated, you need to get a lawyer, you need to get, no. Copyright protection is as simple as writing your name on a piece of paper and you have the proof and you put the date on it, then we know the date on which your copyright started to exist. Now, with the copyright, what does copyright allow you to do? It allows you not only to protect yourself, to protect your music, because the moment that copyright comes into effect, no one else can use the same words, use the same lyric, the same music without first getting your permission. And it's like my colleague was saying, once you have taken that first step in putting it down on a tangible form, so either a CD if it's a beat, or on a piece of paper, or you've emailed it to yourself, it's protected. Then the next step, what I generally advise the artists, SAMRO is the next step, Capasso is the next step, SAMPRO is the next step, because now you're just confirming, you're actually confirming that the copyright was created and now it's been registered. And now the SAMROs, the SAMPROs, the Capassos, now they can actually administer it. When you've created that, copyright, you actually have proof, especially when you, for example, you send it to yourself on your email, because there's a date. If there is an issue, someone, like 2 years later, you were freestyling and then somebody decided to release it. And they say, oh no, but I released it now. And you can actually go back and say, here is the date on which the file was created. My copyright existed. Because when we look at it from a legal point of view, we always go back, who had the earliest right? When was this copyright created? And the person who had it, copywritten it first, is the person who will be entitled to that right. Now, when you have the copyright, what does this entitle you to? It allows you to perform the work. You have the right to perform the work first, and you have the right to give other people the right to also perform your work. And then that is and a lot of times people don't realize that having your work copywritten allows you also to generate income. There is so much money that artists don't realize that you are missing out on, simply by the fact that you don't realize that your music, your raps, the songs that you're writing allows you to make money. Because once, for example, I'll give you a very simple example. An artist writes a song and She never uses it, but she has copywritten it. She's done everything that she needs to do, and then somebody hears that song one day and decides that, you know what, I want to use that song. Would you mind? Like, okay, fine. Then you have an agreement. You have an agreement that, you know what, you can perform my track. I remain the songwriter. I remain the copyright owner. So for every time that song is played on radio, I will get an income as a songwriter. Every time that song plays on MTV, on Channel O, on any radio station, is performed publicly, on radio, on television, when, for example, when you have huge festivals, the promoters have to, I think they have to inform SAMRO of the songs that are going to be performed, and then they have to pay a license. So even if, for example, you're not necessarily earning in terms of a performing artist, you can still make a lot of money as a songwriter, as a lyricist, as a composer. So there are so many ways that you can actually generate an income in terms of, you know, your skills as a lyricist or as a composer.